if you are one of those people who has requested for me to do a review on a specific book, don't worry, your reviews are coming. I just wanted to get this one out of the way. But I got like 8 or 9 requests, and they just take a while. But don't worry, I didn't forget about you. Hey everyone, Gianni here. So today I'm going to be reviewing the final 3 books in the Story Thieves series, and let me just say I am glad to be done with this series. If you haven't seen my other reviews on them, I suggest that you don't, because I made them like 8 months ago when we were in quarantine, and they're pretty bad videos, so I suggest you not watch them. But let me just give a brief synopsis here. So in the first one, hated, absolutely terrible. Second one, it was pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. I did kind of enjoy it, but I kind of over-exaggerated my opinions. Now you're all caught up, the character's pretty terrible. So anyway, let's get into it. I was unable to find any background music that fit, so enjoy my voice, I guess. So the first thing that I should probably mention here is that each of the different books in the series has a different theme. So the first one had a sci-fi and fantasy theme, which worked out terribly, by the way. The second one had a mystery theme, and as this title would suggest, the third one has a superhero theme. There really isn't that much to say about this book. It was pretty lame, pretty boring. I didn't enjoy it at all. This book was somewhere around 300 pages. That felt way too stretched out. It would have been a pretty good, enjoyable read if it was maybe 100 pages, but since it's so stretched out like this, it's just so boring. I will have to say, though, that at the end, it had a pretty decent plot twist and a cliffhanger ending, so I don't know, I'll give it a 4 out of 10. You guessed it, there's no background music. I mean, what'd you expect? Alright, Pick the Plot is just so stupid. There's really no reason for it. It's one of those choose-your-own-adventure books, and if you somehow don't know what one of those are, let me explain right now. If I had to sum up a choose-your-own-adventure book in one sentence, I could say that it's a book that can't be read left or right. Every so often, there will be a choice to make. Do you go on the left path or the right path? Turn to page 40 if you take the right path, and turn to page 101 if you take the left. You want to take the right path, so you turn to page 40 and keep reading on. Sometimes, choices will decide if you lose or keep moving forward. The best part about these books is that there are multiple endings and plot lines that you can discover in the same book. So the whole point of this book is that the antagonist, Nobody, traps Owen in a book where he doesn't get to choose the outcome because nobody thinks that authors just imprison their fictional characters and that they have no freedom. And I have to be honest, this sounds like a really great concept, I'm not gonna lie. The only problem is that readers don't really get to choose the plot. There's only really one working plotline. All the rest, you just fail and you have to start over. The whole point of a choose-your-own-adventure book is that there are multiple plotlines with different endings so that you can sit there and just go through the different ones. And that's what's so enjoyable about a choose-your-own-adventure book. But since James Riley had to write a sequel, half of those outcomes wouldn't make sense anyway, which is why only one of them had to work, which this just seems like a huge waste. I mean, I know that all the Story Thieves have different genres for each book, but just change it. I mean, it's not that hard. I have to be honest, it would be a little bit boring, but if Nobody trapped Owen in a book where it was like realistic fiction or something where he couldn't use magical powers, that would be so much better because Owen would just have to live a normal life like usual. And I feel like that would be much better because there was one plot line, but it's not like you were told that there could have been multiple outlines because the whole point about the ending of Secret Origins was like, oh yeah, Owen gets trapped in a book and he doesn't get to choose the outcome, the readers do, but again, they don't either. It's the author because there's only one plot line. I'm being very generous here, but I think that I'll give this book a 5 out of 10 because it was a really great concept, but it was just, you can't really have more than one plot line if you're going to write a sequel. So just take the 5 out of 10 and I don't ever want to see you again. Alright, this is the last time that you have to hear my voice, other than, the rest of the video. And finally, we get on to Worlds Apart. Worlds Apart is just like what every mother thinks their kid's room looks like. Filth, just absolute mess everywhere, and you can't control it. That was the perfect analogy. I don't know why I've never used that before, but I love it. Seriously, though, a book's gonna be really chaotic if every main character can write and rewrite themselves and also other characters. It's gonna get really confusing if you can't tell who's the protagonist and who's the antagonist because they're getting rewritten every 5 seconds. The ending also just feels like an absolute joke. I mean, come on. The antagonist gets rewritten to not exist. I mean, you only stress that for the whole book. I mean, thank you, very cool. Definitely a plot twist ending that I did not see coming at all. Seriously though, it is not worth reading 5 books to get to here. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna give it a 0 out of 10. I'm sorry. I'm just done with the series now. I mean, this ending was just an absolute joke. Terrible series. I mean, come on. What were you gonna expect? If you are still wondering if you should read the series or not, you should probably reconsider your life choices because you are not very good at making decisions, my friend. But the answer is no, clearly. But when it comes to the author, James Riley, I actually think that he's a great author. It's just that this series got way, way too out of hand. And he actually has a couple of other series that I'm really excited to read after I do like the 8 requests that everyone's given me. But yeah, I'm really excited to read it. I just hope that he doesn't make all of these plot lines that the characters can rewrite themselves and such. But other than that, I think that he's a great author. And finally, that is going to wrap up this video and the review of this series. I am so happy that I'm done with that, as you can probably guess. But I am just so excited to move on. I'm probably going to read James Riley's Once Upon a Time, something like Half Upon a Time series. I'll read that for sure after I get to all those requests. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed today. I was a little bit more sarcastic than usual. But if you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe. So I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.